Okay, I believe we're recording again. We've started a good run, and let's just keep it going. We're on level 4 or so. 4th real level, I think, of Halo 4. This is where the last video ended, that thing making obnoxious Godzilla sounds in the sky. Don't worry, I'll turn it down in post so it's not so bad for you. You just have to listen to all my plosives and sibilants instead. Now, where are we? A jungle or something? Halo 3 started with a jungle. It's not a scene I cared for a lot, but it's the scene that prompted Hideo Kojima to ask the staffer, shoot that fern. So I always do that when I see these details in Halo games or any games. I think it's just a very astute thing of him to ask. Now, I don't remember for certain, but I am, like, 70% sure that in Halo 3 there were hanging ferns and such in the opening jungle sequence, which you could, like, brush a bit as you moved past them, and kind of, you know, you could get them to, like, shimmer a bit, at least, if you shot them. Like, they would kind of jostle on the spot, like they had physics working for them. But this game, of course, I can't wahoo onto these mushrooms, I can't shoot leaves off of trees, it won't even just like shake to acknowledge anything's happening, it's all holograms. Did they really think that was cool? It's so unbelievably shit. Also, these like, this like waterfall and stuff just, what is that? This all looks like a matte painting in a bad way. I'm just angered by this scene, but anyway, we've established the whole Kojima thing. This does not react when I punch it.
They must not have received.
Oh, Lasky, the guy from the shitty movie. He sent out pelicans. We get to meet Marines, I think. Yeah, the way I do these, I don't have notes or anything, but usually I'm just like, I'm always running ideas through my head all the time, and usually I have a kind of short list before I start of ones that I might bring up, but generally I forget them when I start and I just let things prompt me. This time I didn't even have anything to mind, I just thought, oh, it's about the time we'll start a video, but there's a lot prompting me. The ones which are very obviously rendered as physical objects, this is crazy. I'm back on the foliage, it's such an important Obama kind of skeleton key for just studying how these people think and what was wrong with that. Just, why is this one rendered as a 3D object, but it still doesn't have, like, any distinct characteristics? Okay, this is the most interaction we've gotten out of one so far. This one I can... Are you seeing this? Really, if you, like, listen to this as a podcast or whatever, you just, like, listen while doing other stuff. This is important. Bring up the screen. Look at how this plant reacts to being shot. Do you see what I am seeing? How does that feel? How does that look? Why did they do this to me? I can walk through the leaves. Functionally, this thing is a cylinder in terms of collision, but the leaves can collide with bullets in a way that looks so bad, I don't know why they bothered. And I can't tell if the bullets are going through them, just... That's enough to establish that... It's the same decal that gets placed on wood. For whatever reason, this leaf is painted property-wise as a piece of wood. I just... I don't believe it. This mushroom, bullets go right through. The leaves of that very specific plant you can shoot. Can't even shoot these ones here. And you just get a decal like you shot a solid wooden wall. What the hell is this game? Okay, that's enough of ferns and how much I hate them for the minute. I hope you appreciate just a bit more why I hate them so much. There's a nice invisible wall. Because they didn't want to design this to look too much like a corridor. Like, oh, well, you're just kind of following an organic path, but, you know, it is a corridor. Fine. You know, I get that. You've ultimately got to direct the scene, just I don't like this, like, leaving it open, but not actually. Oh, look, there's a dead Marine, alright.
One of them's an officer. Check his IFF tag.
Oh, several dead Marines. This is a good opportunity to look at what's going on with their new gear. Is that guy wearing like a neck guard, or is that seriously how they've rendered skin? I can't tell. No, that's his collar that goes up to there. His eyes are open, very like, I don't know, uncanny video game eyes. Oh, and he's got new guns for us. Okay, so it seems like there's 2 uniforms for the UNSC in this. One, I think, is based on what they were wearing in Forward Unto Dawn. The other is more based on old Marine gear crossed with, like, the Reach Army sensibility. And, yeah, I don't know if I'm crazy about this, so we'll compare our 2 guys. This guy is, like, the old school Halo Marine from like CE to 3, where it kind of transitioned from like metal plates on top of a grey jumpsuit to kind of a more typical green, like olive uniform with still kind of like some kind of harder material over the surface. We've kind of gone back to plates on top of a jumpsuit, only the jumpsuit is now very like much more prominent in detail. These guys are all covered in straps and vests and stuff. This felt weirdly emphasized in Forward Unto Dawn when looking at this guy's thing. Like everyone was wearing like this kind of over the top vest thing on top of what else they had, and this kind of white helmet. Sorry buddy, could you turn around? No, before he does, look at all the like pouches and packs on this guy again. There's like a weird emphasis on oh, that's also a DMR. I thought there was a sniper here. Well, that's this thing, and maybe that's functional looking. I don't know. It's like when you bullpup everything into the back and just have it go straight forward. That's a very boring looking gun. And all this like hanging out handguardy stuff, it's just, this shape doesn't do a lot for me. Like, it's very functional and simple, but it's also just very unpleasantly busy. Like, how many screws do we need? How many like little divoted triangles do we need running up and down the side? I don't know, but I think that's too many. Oh, and I just realized we have a bullet counter under the scope. Look, I don't like these weird Reddit bullets. Look at that 4. Who renders a 4 like that? Anyway, this guy, he's all Mr. Pouches and stuff. It looks like his uniform looks like it's just made out of a succession of like strappy, like sewn on, like everything about this looks like some kind of like fairly loose and flimsy like Chinese Temu airsoft cosplay gear with like 500 Velcro straps holding it together. And yeah, there's just white detailing on these guys now. I don't know if they're meant to be like air crew or what they were thinking, but yeah, this is the Marine of this game apparently. It's all like straps everywhere. Everyone's got 500 million Velcro straps. Your uniform is defined by lots of like very visible kind of thick fabric rather than armor. Maybe they were trying to look functional or something, I don't know. Why does he have shiny blue spots on his boots? Why are his boots gaming PCs? I don't know. And this guy, the more marine looking one, he has armor, but it's like silly Gears of War detail armor where it's just like big nonsensical metal plates. I don't know how to put it exactly, but the idea I got from CE was that like the idea of a plate was that it would like eat a bolt of plasma and slough off. Like they had these like very big like angled plates just hanging off them, almost loosely looking in a way that looked almost practical, I think, considering what they were up against. Like you'd want it kind of loosened off you, and the idea is like the plasma hits that and I don't know, it like absorbs it and rips it off or something. That was the idea I got looking at it. Whereas like when you just really tightly strap on like 2 big pauldrons and a chest piece on top of like all this weird fabric stuff, I don't get it aesthetically or practically. I just think it's ugly. And then there's his like extreme sports dude helmet with a white mask with green visor. and a little, like, clip-on bit for goggles. Just, what the hell were they thinking? This just feels like everything else in this game, like they just piled up contrarian stuff for the sake of it. I can't get a good look at this guy. We'll look at the front of a white armor marine later. Here's this thing. Let's give it a fire so everyone by doing the listening test. It's not terrible, it's fine. We'll see how it feels when I shoot it at something alive. View IFF tag. Can I view the guy? I want to see what he's wearing. What is this, like, ugly transition in the fabric where it goes from green to orange? It's, like, on this guy as well, like, that, like, weird flesh tone, like... I do get the kind of fabric that's meant to be, I just don't know why they thought it would be a good idea to get it there. Like, they've convincingly rendered something, like, I can imagine what this uniform would feel like, but again, aesthetically and practically, it doesn't feel like it belongs in this game. I am not won over at all. So anyway, moving on, let's see what happens if I do this.
The tag IDs him as Jimenez, Paolo J.
Then Lasky's still out there
They
somewhere.
got Paolo J. I'm shooting these seriously because I want to find the Marines. Okay, apparently those just don't die unless I shoot them in the head. Wow, these things are fucking ugly. Not in like a cool way, they look like Jak and Daxter enemies. Like Jak 2 specifically. How many people have played that game? Probably fucking nobody because it's stupid. Something you only buy if you owned a PS2 at the time and you just wanted to buy a video game. Yep, and they all have the silly white mask, I hate it. Well, this place, I'll give it some credit, it's got verticality, I'm going up and down, it's a vertical Vania-born-like, but yeah, this isn't really a cool scene. It's just, these things are gay, there are Marines around, but I don't know if I can save them, they might have died because I was slow, they might have died just because they're meant to here. So these things just explode in one shot to the head, whatever. Don't know what 343 were thinking there, just... fine. Again, I think they look dumb and it feels wrong that they bleed orange. Were they blue in the last level and they're orange now? I really don't care. They're just not cool. Was I fighting these things last level? I don't know. Change a magazine to load one more bullet. Super. I could pick up a Promethean night weapon, but I would rather not let Frank O'Connor extort me like that. No, I will not eat the bugs, I will not live in the pod, I will not fire the fucking bolt shot. So, anyway, this place is still ugly, green, and hazy. Not really giving me an impression of a jungle, it's a green room, whatever. I'm not having a good time, still. Nothing too interesting to see or comment on. His uniform still looks hideous, that flesh tone is just awful, I don't know why they did it, beyond just like changing things for the sake of spite. Here's a humanoid shotgun, and yeah, it looks like what the guys did in Halo CE Fern Mastered. It's just kinda junked up with stupid nonsense detail. Listen for the sound, all of you. Sorry, I should have just demoed the sound while I wasn't being shot at, but... yeah, it feels very, like... you pull it and you get this heavy feedback, boom! It's very quick and immediate, maybe you'd like that, but at the same time I'd say it's very... God, they just look bad, the Marines. I hope they aren't all like that, but I imagine they would be. The feedback I get from this shotgun is very like, you pull the trigger and it's boom, instant. That's okay, the sound is not very like... in CE it kind of rings out like it's a longer sound like... And it like rings out for a moment because the idea is like, yeah, they want to sell, like they don't give you this thing till the second half of the game. It's a big deal, so you get a big like resounding boom when you fire it, whereas this is just like, I mean, there's a bit of like an after, like a deep echo afterwards, a bit of a boom, but I don't know, I don't feel like I just picked up some like big deal. It's just, it feels like the rest. And this thing, it hits hard, it kicks a bit in the Master Chief's hands, but again, do I feel like I'm firing something cool? Am I going to remember how this handles and want to play the game again so I can fire this shotgun or this DMR? No, I don't think so. It's fine, I don't hate this. I'll say this, they haven't done as much of a disservice to the shotgun as they did the assault rifle. This is more like the Magnum where like, alright, I get it, like they looked at the thing and just kind of fucked with how it looks a bit, that's fine, like they didn't completely bastardize it. Let me put it on the ground just so I can like show you how I think its outline is a bit fucked up. If I can, now they're playing with me, they took away the Promethean weapons just so I can't swap one out and look at it. Okay, Anthony, you said you didn't want them. True, they've got me there. Anyway, this one turned into a fern or something. No Promethean vision. This is so lazy and gay. Oh no, what did they do to the poor grenades? Why are they so round and fruity? I mean, I can recognize the practicality and how they're meant to work, like, okay, you have like a pin, you have a thing you slide and it explodes along each of these little points or whatever, but it looks too round if you ask me, the top is too big. It's just not good. Okay, when you throw them is the idea the top comes off? I can't tell. Okay, that was hard. I need to throw another one just to get a look at it. This is a bit silly, but we're doing science here. We're restoring the video game science. No, the top stays on. That just seems like it'd make bouncing and rolling very awkward. I just don't like how it looks.
This is what they've been using to see through the fog.
And I don't like how these Marines look. I don't like how Promethean vision looks. I hate everything about this. I hate how my little stupid ferned up grenades fly through the air, how they physically look on the ground. How did they ruin grenades? I like the old ones, the little like, they're very brown, they're small, they're round, they're just... I took their design for granted. It's another thing that, who would have thought it's possible to do the grenade right or wrong, but in Halo CE the grenades are serious cute little things and I like picking up piles of them, and yep, in this game I see them and I'm just immediately repulsed. I just hate it instantly. I don't have some kind of formula to lay down for you how to make your grenades look good in a game, I just hate these ones. Now let's look at the shotgun for a minute. Oh god, he's got to do his like little Southeast Asian showing it off after he picks it up animation. There's the sprite and there's the thing. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know, its pistol grip just looks a bit lonely down there, and I don't know, I don't hate it. It looks maybe like a spars with a silver top. Whatever. I just got an achievement. Apparently I killed 100 crawlers, that's what they're called. Yeah, that's a very bad video game logic to just make a dumb, annoying, uncool enemy you have to fight constantly and call it something gay like crawlers. Yeah, that's why I bought a video game. I want to go into the swamp and fight the crawlers for an hour. At least they die quickly, just... I don't like them. This isn't fun. I don't like being in the swamp level. I don't remember that auto sentry ever doing any work for me. What's this one? I said I hate these guns and I do, but just as a reminder of why, I'm going to make you watch me use the light rifle. Are there any Marines around?
Another IFF on the far side of this thicket.
Maybe. Far side of this thicket. Hey, there's the sun. Can we go into the sun? No. Fine, more chambers made out of jungle. The bloody swamp in Halo CE was much better laid out than this, I think, and far better justification for being in the swamp. Like, they didn't even put elites in the swamp or anything you would have to seriously fight. Like, the handful of enemies are just grunts and jackals who are already running because there are basically no fights in the swamp. There are 2 sequences there, and they're both basically movie sequences which play out in the game's logic because it's cooler that way. There's going into the facility, which is just, you know, the only enemies are low tier ones who are too scared and disorganized to fight you properly, which is very interesting in the context of what's already happened in the game. And on the way out, you get like a dozen Marines you have to try to rescue, and you probably can't. Again, very unique situation. The idea isn't that like it's a game challenge with a serious fail state. The idea is just, you know, here is a demonstration of how dangerous the Flood are, and gee, here's your last time with the Marines. Isn't this awful? You're probably gonna miss them soon. Just, that's what Bungie did. They really, I think, learned from Myth, which has a bunch of levels which are just unfun, which feel like they're there because they got it in their heads, oh, it's a video game, time to be a challenge. And then, like, they took something that is usually shit in a video game, a swamp level, and basically, like, went out of their way designing it to be frictionless in terms of gameplay just because they wanted a swamp for aesthetic reasons, not to be, like, miserable, but to be, like, a weird, spooky turning point. I hope you get where I'm going. And contrast that with this game. Why are we in, like, a green poison swamp fighting crawlers? I don't know, it just feels like a stock video game level. This could be an area in Jack 2, complete with giant mushrooms and gems. And again, I can just... This is like the fern plant thing from the start of the level where, like, I can shoot it, but I can't collide with it properly. Like, how physically there is this thing? Can I jump on it? Yahoo! Oh, I can. Good job, 343. This is like the 10th mushroom I've tried to jump on, and it's actually there. So, like, I can't collide with the base, but the top is there. Too much work to make all of them like that, apparently. Some parts of this jungle are actually there. We'll look at the dead Marines in a moment. Maybe I can get a look at a white uniform. Those guys teleporting is the most, like, pointless gimmick ever. But I guess they had to have something, because otherwise it's just like an elite with no shield who looks like a retarded bug and goes blah at you. He doesn't even talk or have a personality. Yeah, that's a significant reason why robots are fucking gay and nobody likes games about them. Imagine how many more people would play, Supreme Commander if it were like billions of people dying every level instead of, oh, in the future they automate everything so it's like a gajillion robots fighting. Yeah, robots have no personality, that's no fun. And again, the like flesh-colored under details in this guy's uniform look fucking disgusting. I hate it. It looks like he's naked under there, it's just silly. Why did they do that? Was green not doing it for them? They could also have gone back to like the utilitarian like mechanics overalls colors of like gray undersuits with like brown metal on top like Halo CE, but nope, they just had to prove that they could do it better, so they made a different thing and they went with like, hey, how about this? Green primary color, flesh secondary color on their undersuits, and then green armor on top. Yeah, that looks fucking terrible. Good job, Frank O'Connor. Come on. Did he regenerate health or something? I can't tell. At least he's easy to kill on normal. Where the hell am I loading this shotgun from? I just realized. Look at this. So I eject from that top port and load from it. Where is this thing's tube? I don't mean to be like a try-hard like K-fag here, but really, how does this shotgun make sense now? I'm confused. Is there any real shotgun that loads from the top like halfway up the thing like this? Gee, maybe this thing would be able to hold more than 6 shells if we didn't start the tube like halfway up the length of it. Just saying. I've never designed a gun, but that seems kind of intuitive for a shotgun.
I've got
Anyway.
another IFF tag, but as far as I can tell, we're moving into a choke point. This may end up as a dead end.
Dead end, whatever. Anyway, I was going to say, if anybody in the comments knows anything about guns, can any of you tell me if this shotgun seems, like, remotely plausible, or if I'm just like, am I being silly? There's a real gun that looks exactly like this. If so, fine, I'll believe you, but, like, when I saw him throw that shell into the top, I was, like, genuinely thrown. I didn't realize that at first, and it just... I don't know if I've ever seen a shotgun be loaded that way. It looked very strange. Oh, I hit the PlayStation 4 disorientation pad. The PlayStation 4, what an abysmally designed machine. But that's a whole other subject. Here's the objective, and are we out of the retarded Jack 2 Temple Swamp area? We're into some Forerunner stuff, fine.
Where's whoever it belongs to?
Okay, they've given me something other than gay Forerunner weapons. That's nice of them. I'll use a DMR. It's not terrible. And I'm sick of the odd shotgun. I'll just show you again how it loads. Yeah, that looks weird to me, but whatever. We'll take this again.
Multiple IDs! Chief, they're friendlies!
Oh, okay, it's Marines. How do they look?
Afraid we're gonna have to give you an IOU on that welcome home party.
Ugh.
First officer of the Infinity. Never thought I'd see you again.
Seal her up! I thought you'd be taller.
Haha.
Commander, radio's hot.
So are these guys Spartans or something? We'll learn in a minute. What I noticed immediately was how, like, weird the detailing under the armor pieces was. Again, it's like the cape shit basketball material.
Repeat, all birds are down. We got numerous casualties and require immediate assistance. Over.
Vital. Did you get the coordinates of that gravity well?
Affirmative, sir, but we're gonna need a bus out of here.
Make it happen.
You were sent on a scouting run in the middle of an attack on the ship.
The captain thought Infinity could provide us cover and hold off the attack at the same time.
Sir, we'll never get the wounded back to the ship on foot.
I don't know if it's too soon to ask you for a favor, but we're gonna run out of breathing room here
Okay,
real
a
quick.
thought has come to me. I'll have to hold it while we watch this
Suppose you're in
cutscene.
clear in LZs.
On occasion. I'll send out an all clear once the area is secured.
Come on, give me control so I can start monologuing. Here we go.
There's a break in the foliage north of here. Should be big enough to bring in a dropship for evac.
Okay, apparently they've just dropped me in here and I'm not allowed to go back and look, but... Download terminal, what? Oh god, is this Master Chief Collection shit? Oh my god, I just activated 343 lore.
So very many years have we battled.
Oh my god, this is so butt sci-fi.
The mantle accepts all
And it's in like cheap...
who defend their young. Build.
Yeah, we're not watching that. It's in like cheap... Like, when they made that shit like faux anime Halo Legends movie, it looks like that, like... Just all of these... The Obama era was insane about like... Crazy, overproduced but cheap looking... Like, secondary media. You know, I love secondary media, but this stuff was dog shit. Things like the Dead Space tie-in movies, which look atrocious. And all the Marines died because I'm pretty sure that's a quirk carried over from 3. When you trigger weird cutscenes like that, the game just keeps playing around you. We'll just avoid triggering a cutscene and go back because that was a checkpoint because I want to see them fight, but I'll just say, yes, that kind of like cheap supplementary media It was everywhere. Like, look up what the Dead Space tie-in movies look like. They were hideous. Look up what Halo Legends looks like. It's hideous. And again, like, listen to what they're saying. It's just like stock sci-fi gibberish. The Lord Admiral, we fought for 2,000 years. I don't fucking care. Other thought I had, do you think Lasky actually looks like the cheap Lambrusco wine guy? I swear, that isn't something I had in mind going into this video. I didn't, like, have a picture of what Lasky looks like, but he has, like, the weird, like, kind of chubby 2012 millennial face. I think they made him look like that kind of guy. He was probably written by that kind of guy. Like, I joked in the first episode that, like, yeah, this is Halo run through the sensibilities of the cheap Lambrusco wine guy. It's literally fucking him. He's in the game. Anyway, let's try not to get the Marines killed. They're all wearing their, like, retarded Dead Space Marine Obama Slipknot face masks. Let's see if they can fight. Or if they do anything interesting. I might push ahead a bit and try to keep these guys alive, but I don't think much is going to happen. I'm very disappointed that my first Marine contact was so inorganic, like they just... Did you see how, like, there was that whole room set up full of, like, guys? Like, that was properly rendered and everything, like, the Marines and the, like, weird Spartan people, whatever, were all, like, in the room, like, seeing me arrive, and I didn't get to, like, walk into that and just, like, look at them and appreciate being around people. It's like, okay, there's a cutscene with Captain Cheap Lambrusco Wine, and then I just get teleported to, like, a dead end behind me, and I have these two clowns in their, like, retarded Lego skull masks to come with me. Look at that flesh detail, it is so bad. Seriously, you can, like, 90% fix this design by, like, remove the white from their face masks and remove the flesh secondary tone from their, like, undersuit, and they at least look passable. They don't look good, but they would look significantly better. I got shown this mod by a couple of friends, like, 2 people sent it to me of, like, a, after all these years. Oh yeah, that's great. Someone sent me this thing of a mod someone made for this game, like, after all these years, Halo 4 is fixed. And it did things like recolor and remodel the Master Chief's armor. On one level, that's funny because, like, the rot runs so deep that a superficial change can't fix it, but at the same time, so much of the rot does manifest superficially. The game wouldn't be fixed if you, like, remove the flesh tone from their suits, but I will give the guy credit. I don't know if he did this, but it's the kind of thing I would change if I could. Like, if there was an option to toggle this and I could just hit it, I would immediately. It's the kind of thing where the game would immediately feel better. But, you know, you don't fix a game ultimately by just doing a couple of things like that. Jesus, these guys are made out of fucking paper. It would please me if, like, the Master Chief had the toilet bowl removed from his armor and a few things like that. There he is, look at his face. Cheap Lambrusco wine.
We're on our way.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say is that I'm very disappointed that my first Marine encounter was 2 of them at once. Like, that's something I noticed as Halo went on. Like, they never really gave you bigger Marine waves as it went, and I always found that very disappointing. Like, the first game, the first level is just, like, on the ship, it's full of Marines, and generally there are a few set-piece moments where there are a lot of them, but they're kind of scattered in 1s and 2s, and they never act like big numbers. It's more like they're just scattered as props for little, like, one-off set pieces, and that's fine. But Halo also, when it's just like having big levels set up where you just get to, like, enjoy the game in action, for those, the first half of Halo CE, it's just constantly giving you, like, 5 Marines at once to just, like, watch things unfold, crash these guys into squads of Covenant. Like, that's the default Marine loadout for a Covenant and Marine premise level in Halo CE. And then in Halo 2, like the level 2 when you're in the city, it gives you like 3 Marines at a time, and that became the Marine loadout, like, yeah, here's your teamwork level, enjoy 3 guys coming with you. And then in Halo 3, they're like only little groups for the most part, and they're just always scattered around. They never have like a lasting presence, or it feels like a scene is like well staged so you can think out their presence. Like everything just moves really quick.
Look for an interface.
Oh, I guess we've got like a defense sequence coming. Sorry, but do you get what I mean, where like we never really got moments where it's just like we lay out a scene where it's all going to be about playing the game, and it's like, here's lots of Marines at once, they're going to crash into a lot of stuff, and you'll be able to like really think out this situation as it goes and have a lot of fun. My favorite parts of Halo are when it's like 5 Marines, like enough to be like really dynamic, but you can also like plausibly track that number, and they're like going with you into fights that are small enough and sufficiently well staged and coherent that like you can think out what's happening with everything, all the relations between whatever's going on. I hope that makes sense, the idea that like they never tried to scale up or play with that part of the premise. Like it's just, it got focused down more and more into being like a one-man army type game where you'll get like 2 Marines who are less and less consequential. And this game, like, it starts us out with 2, then it threw us another like 4 there, so maybe we could have 6, but as you just saw, these guys are made out of tissue paper, and the Promethean Knights have like no interesting interactions with them, and I'm just not getting a great sense of presence or personality from these guys. They feel very ephemeral in a way that I don't care for. We'll see if that can improve as we go. Can I give one of these a railgun? He can demo it instead. And again, they look like crap, and I haven't heard their voices very well, but it feels again like kind of a... I'm not really feeling the...
Now it's on. We were friggin' made to kill bad guys, am I right?
Were you enthusiastic about that? I'm not really. They tried. This guy is trying to have a personality, but... I'm not gonna miss him. This game could have its flood moment where every Marine is gone, and I will not give a shit, I don't think.
These doors open into a cave system with a space large enough for an LZ. Hold them off long enough
Into a cave large enough for an LZ. That's great. I love being in the swamp and cave level. I hope I see nothing but tight enclosed rooms made out of pseudo-nature covered in ferns this whole time. Okay, I gave one of these guys a railgun and they just jumped on turrets. I suppose it's alright they're on turrets. It means they're doing stuff, but like they're actually having an impact on the state of this fight to some extent, but I wanted to see him fire the railgun. Oh well. I'm sure it would be disappointing like everything else about this. Oh my god, the auto-aim on this is out of control. Like, I lose all turning momentum when I pass over one. Also, 2 Marines survived. There were 2 excess turrets beyond the one I was using. Do you want to bet that, like, the game just flags 2 Marines as invincible to stage this scene and the rest died naturally? I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence 2 survived, but that would be very 3-4-3, I think. To just have, like, no faith in the scene to play out properly on its own. Let's turn on Promethean night vision. Yeah, that's very gay. I'm not enjoying fighting the crawlers, Cortana. Are you almost done? What was that thing doing? Oh, did it just spawn him in? Or did it revive him? I have no idea. And I really don't care. I'm just... This whole fight is just white noise to me. I really don't give a shit. Was he any real help? I don't know. You can stop yelling, Cortana. There's no urgency to this situation. No one's buying it. Go, Marine. I believe in you. Shoot the crawler. Look at that, he got one. The traces on that thing feel a bit too much like a solid orange line, like it's firing a laser rather than a stream of bullets with traces mixed in. Again, I'm just never feeling the way this game does stuff. Okay, you had the DMR, so the other guy had my railgun. Can we find that with our Promethean vision or whatever else? Is that it? No, that's a bolt shot. Where'd you drop my gun, buddy? You know what? I bet it was disappointing anyway, so I don't even care. I don't trust anything in this game to actually be fun. Oh, is that guy just not coming? Fine.
Sorry about back there. That hatch of security was more difficult than I expected.
What is this, like, weird magic cave we're in? Nothing about it is alright. I really don't give a shit. I don't like melodrama, Cortana. We got ferns, we got cave, we got gems, we got glows. What is he doing? I really don't care. He's dancing.
They're working with the Prometheans?
Oh yeah, we only had one level revolving around Covenant and those guys fighting, and I guess they had no faith in the Prometheans to be lastingly interesting to fight on their own. They'd be correct if so. But then, are they mixed in with the Covenant going to make for a more interesting battle, or are they just going to make the Covenant less fun to fight? This thing has a rangefinder, which is completely pointless because bullets don't drop. But still, that's not a bad detail, I don't hate it. In a otherwise better realized game, that might be a slightly entertaining detail. Did he glitch or teleport? Probably teleport. It seems like the kind of gay, retarded thing Frank O'Connor would want his OCs to do. Yeah, they teleport and they do like anime poses as they glitch towards you. They're the first Halo enemies that teleport because they're mine. They're better than all the others. Fucking awesome. I love shooting the, like, spheres with a glowing, like, iPhone button in their middle, which just look at me and float in place.
I'm shocked how quickly the Didact has unified these Covenant.
Yeah, I'm shocked at how quickly 343 went for such a boring development as well. Does this thing have a shield? I don't know. They really want me to pick up their shitty Promethean night weapons constantly. Or, you know, just junk on the ground. But since this game seems to be mostly Prometheans, I don't even get to use the passably entertaining Covenant weapons. I gotta pick up my suppressors, I gotta pick up all that dumb shit. Can I just run away from this whole sequence? No. Alright, here's another gun. Yeah, I'm not having fun, genuinely. This level has very little to prompt me to think. The Marine didn't even come with us. I'm sure he'd have died in 2 seconds in this situation, but still. He would have been some kind of entertainment. Oh, this thing. Everyone get ready to listen. I'll turn it up in post. We're gonna see how this sounds. Okay, where's the target? Hold still, we gotta see how the railgun sounds. Yeah, here comes my Overwatch ultimate. Were you feeling that? I'm not really feeling that. So we got the little electricity that fills up in there. This doesn't feel that out of place in Halo, like the principle that the big ship's main guns fire on is like a railgun technology, just that felt very like underwhelming to fire compared to say like the old power weapons as people call them, things like the Spartan laser in Halo 3. Feel a lot more like I'm firing the big scary fuck off doomsday weapon.
LZ is secured.
Roger that, Cortana. I'll give you the coordinates. Mayday! Mayday! Code red! Hostile elements attempting to gain entrance to the Infinity Bridge. They're outside the hatch! Doors breached! Doors breached! All units return to Infinity immediately. That's an order. Chief, I'm redirecting the Spartan force to rally point Alpha Sierra Foxtrot. Until we catch up, you have tactical command of the forward assault force. Rendezvous with those men and take back that ship.
Yes, sir.
Good luck, Chief. Lasky out.
Okay, I guess I'd know what a Spartan 4 is if I read some shit novel. And I have command of force. Do you think I'm actually going to do anything but move through swamps with like 3 Marines who die instantly, going to turn off pylons and power nodes?
This is Pelican 595. We have the Chief on board and are outbound for Rally Point Alpha Sierra Foxtrot.
Acknowledging contact.
Oh, are these Spartan 4s? Can I look at their ugly armor? Nope, no time to breathe. They've again done something very un-Halo and just teleported me immediately to a new area with like a wall at my back and just started a fight fucking instantly. I have to say, I think the pace of that, the way this all unfolded, is very shit. We can look at the tank and stuff in a moment. We'll look at the tank, we'll look at our Spartan 4 imposter friends in a moment. Just I have to kill this stuff so the game stops screaming at me. Oh, nope, they're taking off. Yeah, I had a feeling the game was just going to... I was getting flashbacks to like the time I tried to play Call of Duty 5 again, that this game, because it's an Obama game, it's just never going to breathe.
Let's show these Spartans how it's done.
Okay, Spartan 4s. These guys look like the, team from Star Wars Republic Commando is my first thought. Kinda halfway between ODSTs and me. The armor doesn't look terrible, but it's so overly rounded for my liking. Oh, is this the tank model they used for like the... No, this is the Reach tank, I think. I really just want the game to shut up and let me talk about something, or just process something. Okay, so the main gun blows things up, or at least certain things, that's fun. This scene, we have a warthog moving and doing its own thing, lots of guys riding this tank. Something questionably fun they did to the tank 3 onwards is they removed its machine gun and made that a passenger's job. It's fun to see more characters doing things other than me, I'll give them that, but... yeah, just like the staging of this whole scene, am I having fun? There's a fair bit going on. This is the highlight of the game so far. Well, these guys aren't dying instantly because they have armor like I do. First thing I notice about this tank is look at the like skeletonized elements like the back of the gun where it's like vented kind of. I get it being vented, but I think they wanted it to have like a weird like ventilated skeletonized design because I don't know, if you're an idiot that might look cool, but like again, when I was just shown out of context Joker's reaction to a tank in the short timers, I thought it might have been someone quoting me talking about Halo CE because that's like how strongly that game's design of a tank made that impression upon me, and this one, even though it's based on the same like skeleton and physics and so on, it doesn't feel the same. Like, again, like the Prometheans, it's got this like skeletonized, segmented like insect carapace quality to it, which I don't care for, and I don't know why, like, well again, I think I know why 343 were enamored with that. I think it's just like contrarian gimmick seeking. They thought like, how do we make our designs less Bungie and more 343? And all those like fine, solid, perfected edges which define the old UNSC aesthetic, which of course mirrored the Forerunner aesthetic and were a realization of the same ideal Ridley Scott was channeling when he made his perfect race with their horrifying perfect architecture in Alien Covenant and Prometheus. The idea of like perfect, complete, unornamented, pure form. All of that goes out the window, not really because they have a different vision of what humanity should be in Halo, It's just that they have no fucking vision, and they're not smart enough to understand the original one. Again, it's degeneration. You really can just track these across many things. It's what happens to like an actual country or whatever, or a culture. It happens to individual works. People just don't know what they're looking at, and they just rip things up because they're confused and stupid. Okay, is this the Infinity? Is that what we're looking at? We're like under it? We've been in what just feel like giant warehouses for so long. I have such a poor sense of moving through space in this level. Alright, come on, Spartan 4 team. Yeah, this should be like a really monumental moment because the Master Chief is separated from all of the Master Chief is separated from all of the other Spartans for the entire original run of Halo games, and now he's fighting with like... I'm fighting with 9 other Spartans right now. This should be like monumental progress for Halo, and this whole sequence is just played off like such a flimsy, weightless nothing. Like, the idea was like...
Master Chief, this is Captain Del Rio. Lasky
This guy looks kind of like Salieri.
A hell of a time to rejoin us.
Sir, what's our status?
That satellite took down the ship's defenses and is extracting data from the ship's mainframes as we speak.
Can we break the connection?
Main point of contact's on the ship's upper hull. The fastest route is through the maintenance causeway. There's a Mantis docked inside the door. Take it. You'll need the extra firepower.
Alright, Spartan 4s, let's go. Or not. Yes, well, finally we fucking have a moment. Let me say properly some more things that came to my mind. First, he looks like Salieri, which I don't think is a coincidence. I think that, given like the way things went, I think that cheap Lambrusco wine is meant to be the most competent one here, while he's a bit of a up-jumped mediocrity who can't quite keep a handle on things. Do you think that means anything or goes anywhere? Or are they just kind of peddling, dealing in like junk tropes that don't mean anything? Again, it's just all the interesting stuff. It's just a process of ideas which... elements which are expressive of ideas tend to be much more interesting. You know how it is. And I've made that point over and over again, like, it's J.J. Abrams' Obama writing. Why is, like, that stock character, our captain, is anything interesting going to come of it? No. What could they possibly have to say about that? Nothing. And opportunity missed. Again, the Master Chief is with Spartans for the first time in the series, and they said, like, you have command of this element. Again, in the story, the Master Chief was a leader, not just like a grunt shock troop. So, the Master Chief is leading men of his caliber again for the first time in Halo. Are we going to shift into, like, any kind of new dynamic experience, or is it just like a big Call of Duty level where you just kind of charge forward with a bunch of guys who are dressed like extreme sports ODSTs? Yeah, we know what it is. And again, the sensibilities behind the CE armor, which is my favorite, like, it's just like flat, imposing, perfect. You could imagine like the engineer from Prometheus wearing it. Look at this. This is like trashy fantasy extreme sports gear. Like a cape shit jumpsuit underneath made out of like weird black texturing. And then just these like weird, ugly, rounded Overwatch pauldrons all over him. I'm just not feeling it at all. A thought I had way back when I played Halo Infinite before they locked my graphics card out of running it. Wouldn't it be great, like, they want to like have humanity on the back foot and like humanize the Master Chief again in that one, while also feeling like Halo. The most obvious way in the world to do that is to make the Master Chief lead Marines again. You make that like the gimmick of the game, the selling point. And if you want to humanize the Chief, you make that like a plot element that like the Master Chief has to talk about responsibility and leading men, and like he can get close to a few and whatever. Instead, they just gave him like a Spanish pilot friend, and they just kind of talk about their feelings a couple of times in ways which just don't amount to anything, like the most stock feelings conversations ever. The Master Chief just saying like, it's okay to be scared as long as you do your job. Awesome, stunning, fucking childish. Alright, what's a mantis? Shining armor, yeah. There's been no shining armor until this point. Here's some more like one-upmanship. Does this look like it belongs in Halo, or does this look like they just wanted to have a new thing for the sake of it?
The hatch to the maintenance causeway is jammed. Let's do something about it.
Sorry, I'm a bit tired by all of this. Does it speak for itself? Are you not feeling what I'm not feeling right now? Just look at this. What is this like weird anime ripoff like? Specifically, it feels like the kind of anime ripoff that was in vogue in the Phil Fish era, like someone who would like maybe act like they can begrudgingly say a couple of animes are okay. Yeah, we want to do like a mech, but not like the gay shit like back when they made real anime. Do you get what I mean there? Like, this feels like it was made for people who will say that there are like 2 good mech animes, but none of that like silly Gundam crap. This is a real military machine, made by someone who has like literally never watched a mecha anime in their life. I feel like that kind of sentiment was very, very common in the Obama era. Like, just people who have... If you want to understand what was going on in American culture in this time, just like, remind yourself what Fez looked like, and then look up that clip of like Phil Fish telling a Japanese guy to go fuck himself because Japanese games suck compared to what Western gaming is doing in like 2011 or whenever that clip was made. Just, people thought this was a high point of culture, this cultural moment that produced works like Halo 4. It's stunning, the hubris. And it's all just kind of come to a head now, where this whole continuity of Halo is dead. Not just this, though. Every single trend of the Obama era has been defeated at the ballot box. Gears of War rebooted, going back to 1. Halo rebooting, going back to 1. Western indie gaming, laughing stock, weird scam-ridden clown show, Japan fucking won. I forget who was writing about this recently. Someone was saying just how important it was that, like, Dark Souls just, like, rewrote video games. It just won. It just became what everyone wanted. I have nothing too particular to say there, just that I think Dark Souls was a real turning point. Not necessarily when it came out, but, like, over the next couple of years, it got big on, like, YouTube and stuff and just kept spreading through word of mouth, and within like 3 years or so, it took over culture, I think. And yeah, the kind of sensibility which produced things as crass, stupid, and meaningless as this could not survive the internet, thankfully.
That might be how they're blocking.
You really need like the power of TV and mass programming to convince people that if you're so dumb you make things like you put the Mantis into Halo, this stupid, like, off-mecha bullshit. You think this is a good idea? You could just get away with running culture if no one's allowed to criticize you. But thankfully, idiotic things constantly happen in video games still. The wrong people refuse to let go of their power, which they still have somehow, but mostly they don't get a claim for it anymore. Most of the video game industry is just, like, recognized as bad by most people, gets no respect, and like the whole like shit journo apparatus is dead now. It's just like weird nerds on Twitter who try to defend this. That guy with the, like, Shah eating a burger avatar on Twitter will, like, freak out and accuse you of not being friends with the cast of American Pie for saying Halo 4 is a bad game. You're just mad that Steve Stifler didn't invite you to the after prom party. I'm cool, I hang out with the football team. Yeah, awesome. Lost at the goddamn ballot box. Everyone hates this shit, everyone likes anime. Don't make an off-anime mech, just make a real mech. Armored Core 6 sold 6 million copies. Japan won. Phil Fish lost. Phil Fish lost so hard, he was like done before Trump even got elected the first time. He kind of gave the game away that these people had, like, nothing to back their absurd haughtiness. If nobody else does, I guess it's going to be up to me. I've written before on the old forum about how Wolf's observations in the Painted Word about the kind of, like, fake art fag scene of New York modern art, which kind of got, like, gutted and destroyed by Andy Warhol. He, like, narrativized that quite well. I think that thing just kind of captures the character very well of, like, fake art fags and, you know, the realer kind, what should be happening. Someone needs to write, like, the Painted Word for Obama-era indie games, and yeah, if nobody else does, I think I might have to do that. But frankly, like, the gist is already out there in a few forum posts I've written, and yeah, maybe since this is on my mind, I could just go, like, dig them all up and turn them back into a, like, newly collected reflection on the whole thing, since it's on my mind whenever I play a game from, like, 2012. We're on the surface of a ship this big, and we've only got, like, 4 guns that big firing. It feels very underwhelming. Can we turn on these, like, big rockets or whatever? Even then, the, like, distribution of weaponry across the top of this ship feels very lame. Like, it feels very much like it was built like a combat arena first, in a way I don't care for. That thing is so gay and not impressive, and these ships look too much like they're made out of snap-apart plastic parts to impress me. I mentioned the air battles you get in the background of old Halo games. That's kind of happening now, but like, if I look at that Pelican, is it shooting at anything? Like, in Halo 3, Pelicans would actually shoot down Banshees and stuff. It was kind of cool. But I think they're just floating here. Also, this thing is meant to be like a serious power-up, this Mantis thing, but I'm pretty sure I can't... Oh no, I can shoot down a Phantom, just it really, really doesn't look impressive or make me want to do it again. It's funny how that got worse, like, every game. Like, you could first blow up Phantoms in 3 and it looked pretty good there. And by Halo Infinite, they actually, like, it's lost technology. They couldn't render a Phantom exploding or, like, process it in the game's logic, so how they solved that was very absurd. They make it, like, emit a high-pitched sound and flash every time you destroy a Phantom. And what happens is, every single time, no matter where you're looking, where you are, if a Phantom is exploding, your entire screen turns white, it gets deleted from the game, and then the white effect wears off. So yeah, the way they explode got very, very bright between games. 343 are a very absurd company. Oh, am I meant to be doing something? Finally. I've been trying to check, but I don't think you can make this robot sprint. We just have to walk very slow. Again, this thing annoys me. I just imagine a guy saying, like, yeah, there are a few good animes. Like, Ghost in the Shell was okay, then they make all that stupid stuff about girls for pedos. Ugh. Just dumb and silly. I'm not having a good time. I got to see Marines in this level, but they're implemented so badly, I kind of wish they didn't. Alright, now we get to watch all the guns fire, but will anything happen? Oh, that's exciting. When did we decide that's called the Didact?
We are condition yellow. Stand down. Section heads report in, begin damage assessment.
Okay, is that the level? Well, that was just too fast. I didn't get a good feel for Marine presence at any point. I just don't think this game is handling them in the way I like.
Where the hell did those things come from?
Alright.
It's
Cutscene.
possible that they're native to Requiem, or whatever counts as native for a Forerunner AI.
We've never seen this
Look at
type
that
of
like
offensive
smug,
reaction from
knowing
any of the
look
other
on
installations.
Lasky's face, like,
Other
us
installations.
hipsters, we know better than the
Mr.
old
Lasky.
timers.
Infinity's mission has been to locate the remaining Halo rings and establish permanent bases to study them for decommission. We got locations up and running around installations 5 and 3, but lately they've run into some setbacks.
A science team got zapped excavating a Forerunner artifact. This sensor data is all that was left.
Interesting. These symbols are a derivation of the Forerunner glyph system.
And our geeks managed to pull some coordinates. I'll give you 3 guesses where it led.
Sir, Gypsy Company is prepped and ready to roll on your
This
orders.
guy is such a like Obama-era trope, just like an irrationally incompetent
Mr. Lasky,
old fag
you
boss.
Take point, I want boots on
I
the
mean,
ground
lots
in
of bosses are incompetent idiots,
Captain.
but this feels very like
This is
not
the first
true to
contact
life.
Scenario, Master Chief. Priority is to free Infinity from Requiem's gravity well and file a threat assessment back at FleetCom.
You mean we're leaving?
Sir,
Sounds
Infinity drove the
reasonable,
Didact
actually.
back. He's vulnerable.
Again, when did we decide he's Didact? Did I skip a
isn't the only
cutscene?
one. You know, I think you, of all people, would appreciate the benefit of living to fight another day.
Why would he phrase his own position like he is being cowardly, where trying to live another day like, no, that's reasonable, we have no idea what the fuck any of this is, and like, we should be responsible and let people know that all this new shit exists and we just found it. I can just tell that guy exists to be like the guy we don't like who Lasky gets to look good by being smarter than. Like, that's his role in the story, to be not Lasky, so that Lasky can own him with facts and logic by being cool, collected, knowing what cheap Lambrusca wine is like. Like, just look at his face, you can tell we're not meant to like him, but
Infinity to Gypsy Company?
it just feels very lazy.
The air corridor to the gravity well is blocked.
Okay,
by
we're
a
not in a
network of
green
particle
jungle or
cannons.
sewer, so this is a nice setup for a
Infinity
new level.
shields are still down. Open the lane for us to move up and provide air support.
Captain, what's Force Recon's assessment of the terrain?
I know you've been off the field for a while, Master Chief, but this is a blow-through op. Sending in a recon would just slow us down. Telemetry indicates the particle cannons are being controlled from a command post southwest of our position.
Isn't that
Roll
just something
on
you've
that
heard in
target
movies a
and
million times?
neutralize
The
those
commander's
guns.
just like, no, we're not going to
We'll meet
do
on the other
recon,
side.
we're not going to check anything, fuck
Take the
you.
gravity well.
I mean, yes, that's, again, something that
Infinity
is
out.
quite true to life. Stupid people exist,
I
but
don't know about you, but I usually like a little more intel.
why
with
is
my
that, like,
intel.
in this story? Why do we just
We'll
have,
make it
like,
work.
irrational idiots in the UNSC now? Is this meaning anything we can, like, work with or talk about or make any sense of, or they just... Or is it just like a cheap melodrama prop?
Spartan Sarah Palmer and Infinity CIC. Commander Lasky's waiting for you on the Mammoth.
Okay, we'll get to the Mammoth and call it, I think. I just want to look at these Marines in white. Okay, you in the, like, gross, flesh-toned undersuit, I hate you. And your helmet being lighter or looking lighter in this light makes you look worse. You know, I thought from the cutscene we were in, like, a nice, decent-looking area for once, but this whole game feels like it has, like a gross swamp air tinge over it, and I have no idea why they would do it even in the desert level. Like, why are the green levels so high? I don't know. Can't we just have, like, yellow, gold sun for a change? No, we can't, apparently. And, oh my god, what the fuck is this? We still have the flesh tone, but instead of being like an extreme sports doofus, you look like you're wearing the toilet armor from Fallout 4. Only like gayer, like he's wearing these like weird womanish safety pad things. again, they were wearing this kind of like material over armor in the Forward Unto Dawn movie, and it didn't look as bad as a physical prop. They probably thought it out more when someone had to wear it. If it looked this bad, they would just tell them to fuck off if they brought this costume out, but Virtual Man can't object, so he's just like, yep, I'll be your Fallout 4 Institute armor man. What's that on his back? Is the idea that these guys are air troopers or something? I don't know, but does this look good? No. Aesthetically, what is going on? Why did they want a soldier who looked like this in the game? I have no idea. Practically, could it possibly make sense for a uniform to be made like this? I hit the disorientation pad, sorry. I don't know, but yeah, I hate this on both levels, and if you can offer me an opinion on what you think they're going for aesthetics-wise, I'm interested, or if you have an explanation for why armor should look like this, I'm interested in knowing, because right now, again, my best answer is like spite and arbitrariness and no accountability are how you get to designing this. Just go look up, like, from Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, Reach, and Wars, all of the different designs that existed up to this point for Marines, and then look at these two fucking clowns, and yeah, explain to me what happened. Was this... Can we still call this, like, earnest or good-natured? His helmet has a fucking chin strap. Look at that. Were they trying to make these guys look like the biggest fucking goobers on the planet? If so, they succeeded. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's enough for me for tonight. I actually have to call it. I am just, like, overwhelmed now. This hasn't been a fun episode. I've seen my beloved Marines in action again, and I almost wish I didn't. That's what 343 do to me. I will say, Infinite, it looked a bit like this, but like they had like fabric detailing and stuff on their armor, but it was pulled more in line with 1 and kind of with Halo Wars, and it looked better. I haven't looked at 5, and yeah, it goes to show you how beloved the 343 Halo Wars were. 5 has never been ported off of the Xbox One, and since that's a dead continuity, like that lore just is a dead end that went nowhere. It's probably going to stay there. It's actually a very real possibility. I may never be able to show you Halo 5. We'll just... Maybe I'll Google photos of it after this just so I can talk about it next episode, but... Yeah, we've seen the Marines and we've just seen more like unpleasant Halo 4 levels, and we'll call it here, and next time we'll see if things lighten up in the desert, but I'm not optimistic, but we'll be back soon, hopefully.